Hi guys, in today's episode and the next episode to come, I won't be showing you my beautiful face because there is some circumstances that are beyond my control, and I don't want to use that as an excuse not to share this knowledge or content with you beginners in product management. So let's get started. In today's video episode, we'll be talking about the difference between an MVP and an MMP. Please, if you don't know what an MVP is, I encourage you to go over to my last video and get to find out what an MVP is, because I shared what an MVP is and the misconceptions around it. So jump right in, keep this video, jump right in and get to understand what an MVP is before you move over to this video. And before we get into the difference between an MVP and an MMP, I think it's ideal I try to define what an MMP is so that you can understand. Just like an MVP, it's an acronym and it stands for minimum marketable product. Minimum marketable product. And an MMP, which is the minimum marketable product, is a version of your product that has enough features to be appealing and useful to a large group of your users or your target audience. If you've seen the video on the MVP, you notice that I mentioned that MVP is the simplest version of your product that helps you validate your idea, gather information and data, and get to know if you're actually building what your target audience or your users really want, right? But now in MMP, it is a product that has enough, is your product that, or the version of your product that has enough features to be appealing to your customer segment. So you validated your idea, you know it's making sense, you know it's what people want, and you've actually verified who your target users are, right? Now you now release your MMP to these particular users that you validated the idea with them, and you get to know that this is actually what they want. So you send it out to them, but larger audience. So for MVP, we kind of like test out there and validate the idea with people, a lot of persons, right, that we think fall into the category. But for MVP, we've narrowed it down. Sorry, for MMP, we've narrowed it down. We know who our target audience are, and then we are now releasing this earliest or marketable products to them. And we can say that an MLP is like a version 1 of your product, like version 1.0 of your product, which helps you compete with the market, right? So it has enough features that helps you compete with the market. Now that is like a simple definition of what an MMP is. You can get to read up more to get to know what an MMP is. Now let's dive in. What is the difference between an MVP and an MMP? I know the first thing that will come into your mind is MVP is the simplest version of your product and an MMP is the marketable version of your product. I just want you to know that both the MVP and the MMP are two powerful concepts that every PM should understand and should use, right? Now the first, like I said, is to help you validate your idea, test your idea, know who your target audience is, gather informations, feedbacks, test and validate your hypothesis, and get to know if you're actually building for people you have in mind you're building for. So in your MVP, you are working with assumptions, right? You're working with assumptions. You're assuming these are my target audience, and you now go to these assumptions or this customer segment that falls in the assumption bracket, right, to go and test that product with them. Now for MMP, you're no longer assuming. You know who your target audience are, and you're taking this product right to them. Not guesswork, and you're not doing the guesswork anymore here. You know who your target audience, and you're taking it right to them for them to use the product and get to interact with the product, right? Now that's the first one. Then the second one is that MVP helps you get quick recommendations, feedbacks, data, validations, and take you out of the assumption brackets. Why for your MMP, it has sufficient features. I didn't say it has all the features. It has sufficient features. That's why I said it's like the version 1.0 of your product. It has sufficient features to go back to these people that you have validated that they are ideal users and let them interact with it again, right? And remember that a product manager, you always go to the market, get feedback, come back, validate. It's like a normal day-to-day process for us. But for the MVP, you take it to these ideal users and let them interact with what you have built from what they have told you, right? And then compete with the market. Now, you don't know at what point or at what part of the market you can compete with, right? So, yeah, that is that for the definition of the MVP and MMP. Now, for the timing and for the focus, I just want you to know that MVP prioritize feedback and feedback and data. Like, they prioritize that so much because they want to leave the assumption bracket as soon as possible. And the reason why an MVP is actually released into the market is for you to reduce the risk that is involved in unnecessary investment into a feature or a product, right? Now, that is that for MVP. Now, why for MMP? I would say that it focuses on delivering a product that has a sufficient feature that can help you compete with the market, right? So this time, you're not taking the product to a small segment of people to validate the idea. You're taking it to a larger market, and you are going to use this to compete with the market and know if you actually fit in and what features or competitive edge you could bring in that can help you scale in the product journey you are getting into or you're getting started. So, in summary, I want you to know that MVPs are quicker ways to test your assumptions, validate your idea, and know who your exact target audience are. Why your MMP are more comprehensive and design ready products, right? That helps you market to your ideal customers and a larger audience as well. So you could read more and get to find out more, watch videos, tutorials that can help you understand better. But this is like a basic concept of the definition between an MVP and an MPP. So I want you to know, as a product manager, you will be getting this very often in your journey, right? Whether you're learning or you're managing a product, like, this is something that will really come handy for you. So I advise you get to understand it more. Play this video over and over again to get the concepts well understood, or get to make more research to get to understand what the difference between an MVP and an MMP and what they both are and how you can actually create one. So thank you so much for listening.